Nick Robertson brings something to the NHL as a offensive player with speed and some skill and some scoring. He's different than his brother, not the same player, but he seems to be constantly rumored to being traded, not signed, now arbitration, and it just seems like his tenure with the Maple Leafs has been anything but smooth sailing.
Well, he seems like a guy that, whether it's the Leafs or it's the league in general, that for some reason he doesn't fit. Like, he's in and out of the lineup. He can't get the contract that he wants. Don't know the human being. Don't know if he's, one of those kind of guys that says he's supposed to do this and I can play here and be better and what it is. So, but he's not very big. He skates well. Is he a 10 to 15 goal scorer? Is that what he is? Or if he plays on a good team, is he going to be a 25 goal scorer? If he gets an opportunity to get on a regular shift and probably play in the top six, I don't know if he's done enough to earn that right now. I think there were rumors, wasn't there, that to bring him here and have him and Robo be on the same team together and add a little more of that grit and grind, that 1% that we're looking for up front, I guess.
What do you think about that, Sam? Because Nick Robertson's 23 years old. He is now 156 games into his NHL career. He was in the NHL all of last year. He played a few games in the A, very few in the last couple, but was like a point-a-game guy. Like, he's clearly too good for the AHL.
Yep.
15 goals, 22 assists in 69 games for Toronto last year. 14 goals in only 56 games the year before. No, he had the injury and had the season cut short 2 years ago, and that was part of it. But to me, it seems like there's something there. He played well against the Dallas Stars. Actually, I think has always beaten his brother when he's been in the lineup. And I don't necessarily think that if the Stars were to look at somebody like him, granted they'd have to get his rights from Toronto, but that he's to be playing necessarily with his brother. But there is a hole right now as our conversation about left wing. What do you think about Nick Robertson?
Yeah, the thing with Nick Robertson is, I can't remember if it was all of us on the show or if it was just me and Luds a couple weeks ago, but we were talking about putting players in specific role spots versus, making, if you're in the top six, you have to be a top six talent. This Nick Robertson's that kind of player that could be not a Mason Marchment in terms of his size or any of that stuff, but a guy that he's a hard worker. He works hard. He gets in the corners. He's a better skater than Jason Robertson, as we know. He could be one of those guys that could kind of give you a little more of the work. I wouldn't call it toughness necessarily, because it's not, as Lud said,
gritty,
he's not a big, he's scrappy, little Logan Stankoven in him, where he's just always going hard. He wins pucks and he gives you the 10 to 15, maybe even a little bit more goals in terms of skill. It's a good idea for a team, and it's just funny that he hasn't fit in Toronto to me. Like, it feels like,
why is he never used in the playoffs?
I don't know if it's the way they run their team. I mean, they also always lose in the playoffs, Luds. So it's not like they're doing it right. It's not like this is the team that's winning the cup and they're not utilizing Nick Robertson. It feels like maybe they should be using someone like Nick Robertson to give them more of that aspect and less of the just skill at the top end of their lineup. So I don't know. Like Lud said, I don't know if there's a big thing there in terms of off the ice or anything like that. I've only heard good things about his personality and his work ethic. So it's someone that can give you that extra bit of hard work with maybe 10 to 15 goals on your roster. I'm just surprised it hasn't happened for him consistent.
He didn't really get a chance to play in the playoffs with two different coaches that approached the game maybe a little bit different, in Sheldon and then Chief and Berube. So is it a Lundqvist kind of thing? I don't know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They're looking for the size and a little more height. And so, again, if we're looking for this team to get bigger, tougher, harder to play against, whatever you want to call it, or if you end up adding him, are we just going back to when we're going to outscore our mistakes and we're not necessarily going to be any more difficult to play against? But you're right. He does have a little scrappiness to him. Like he's that little tiny dog that's biting on the back of your heels, I wouldn't say Rem and Stimpy, but I don't know what the Chester and what's that other cartoon? Chester and somebody. The big bulldog and a little dog behind Chester and Spike. Somebody Google it.
Oh, he's
Chester
talking about the
Spike.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Just like this show.
Well, let's as we look at this though, his last cap hit was $875K. His qualifying offer is $918,000, so just under $1 million. and he would, at the moment, I guess you talk about the style of play, you talk about getting in on the forecheck with speed, and I'm sitting there going, well, isn't that what you lost, although without the size, with Mason Marchment on that line with Duchesne and Sagan? They needed a guy to go in the corners, go chase the puck down and set up those guys and have some skill. And I know he doesn't have Marchment's physical thing, but I do think there's something there. To me, the big question would be, what would Toronto be asking for in a cost as far as if you were trying to trade for a guy like that?
Do you think he's a little bit more skilled Colin Blackwell?
Yeah.
Good way to put it. Yeah.
I think so.
Speedy. Yep.
A little bit more offense to his game.
Yeah. So
and if you're looking at a player who might be making around $1 million, $1.5 million as a 23-year-old, that certainly isn't something the Stars can't handle in their cap. But
right.
But at what cost?
They don't have to be. Again, for me, I'm looking for a little more feistiness. You know what I mean? If he wants to add that to the mix and probably be more on the end of drawing penalties and taking foolish penalties, then I think it's something where a cost maybe it fits in. And he may not be a guy that's going to play 82 games. Maybe he's going to play 50 to 60 games. But maybe there's a guy that you give a chance there. I was able to play with the Hatchers. It didn't work out so well. Yeah. So, and they're both obviously great players and great people, but brothers don't always seem to work out great when they're together, especially when they're really tight. You know what I mean? One can bring the other one down, and one may be a little bit more like this. And so, again, I'm not opposed to it, but I don't know. Maybe there's a few more unknowns for me. It was a guy that we were able to watch on a consistent basis and see what he can bring. It just, for me, I haven't seen enough of him. So.